So today we're going to talk about triangle angle sum theorem. And all that means is that the sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So if we add this angle plus this angle plus this angle together, we get 180 degrees. Just like a straight line has 180 degrees, so does a triangle. Another part of this is called the exterior angle theorem. Remember, a theorem is nothing more than a rule in math. So an exterior angle is formed by extending one of the sides of the triangle. So we took this side of the triangle and we just made it a little longer, and we have this exterior angle. It's on the outside of the triangle, that's why it's called exterior. And then we have these two interior angles that are sort of across from it. They're on the other side. And so an exterior angle is always equal to the sum of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So that means angle 2 plus angle 3. So in order to find all the missing angles, we got to look at some examples. So the first example is just a triangle. So how many degrees are in a triangle? 180, right? So if I know that each one of these angles together makes up 180, and I know two of them, in order to find the third one, all I have to do is subtract from 180. So I have 180 minus 24 minus 37. And when you do that, you get 119. And you can just do that on your calculator. So this missing angle right here is 119 degrees. And if you add this one plus this one plus this one, you get 180. Example 2 is one of those exterior angle problems. So this exterior angle, angle 1, is equal to the sum of the two interior angles. So that would be 76 plus 52. And when we add those two together, we get 128. On number 3, so we don't have the right information to do the problem the way that we did it in number 2. So we've got to think about it a little bit. So the side that we're missing, which is angle 1, we're going to call that x. Remember, you're going into algebra, so we've got to start using x for things and learning how to solve for x for simple problems so that when we get to algebra, the harder problems aren't so hard. So I'm going to call this x, and I know that angle 1, which is x, plus this angle right here, which is 79, is equal to this angle. So I'm going to say x plus 79 is equal to 104 because it's the exterior angle. So to solve this, I'm going to subtract 79, and I get x equals 25. So number 4 is a double triangle. We always start with the one that has two given parts, okay? So I know this part and this part are given, so I can easily find this missing part right here. So I'm going to say 180 because a triangle contains 180 degrees minus the 66 degrees minus 84, and my answer to that is 30. So angle 1 is 30 degrees. I can also think about this as this is an exterior angle, so therefore angle 3 is equal to 30 plus 66, which is 96. That's my exterior angle theorem. And then when I know this is 96 and this is 43, I can subtract from 180, which gives me 41 degrees. So now I have all three missing parts. On number 5, I know that when I have a box in the corner, that means this is 90 degrees. And so if I know 90 and 43, I can find the missing angle 1 by subtracting from 180. So 180 minus 90 minus 43 equals 47. I know that this angle is 12, and I can find the missing angle 2. I can do it two ways. I could say, okay, you know what? This right here is a straight line, so I can just subtract from 180, and that'll give me this missing piece. So if I do that, 180 minus 43 is 137. And then I can subtract both of those angles from 180 and get 31 degrees. So you have 180 minus 137 minus 12, and that equals 31. On number 6, we know this right angle is 90, but we have two missing angles. So we're going to start with the top one because I have two pieces there. I'm going to subtract both of these from 180, which gives me 51. So I know angle 1 is 51 degrees. Now, we still are missing two parts in the bottom triangle. So we got to remember that we have vertical angles right here. This angle is congruent to this angle, which means angle 2 is 61 degrees. And now that we know that, we can do 180 minus 90 minus 61, which equals 29. Got number 7. So it says BC bisects ACD. So we need to remember that when something bisects, that means it cuts it in half. So this line right here cuts this angle in half. And if this angle is 90, half of 90 is 45. So each one of these angles is 45 degrees. And now we can use those numbers to figure out the rest. So when we subtract 180 minus 48 and 45, angle 1 is 87 degrees. So 180 minus 48 minus 45 equals 87. And we can find the other triangle. We have 180 minus 45 minus 83, which equals 52. And so the last triangle is 52 degrees. So to work number 8, start with the first triangle, the biggest one, because we have 75 and 41. So all we got to do is subtract both of those from 180 and get 64. Now, to find the next one, angle 1 and angle 2, we know this is 64 because we just found it. So we're going to use that in order to find angle 2. If you remember, if there's a right angle on one side, there's going to be a right angle on the other side. So I can take the right angle and subtract 64 in order to find angle 2. And 90 minus 64 is 26. And now I can use the triangle theorem to find angle 3. I just subtract 180 minus 90 minus 54 and that gives me 36. Angle 1 is 64 degrees, angle 2 is 26 degrees, and angle 3 is 36. On number 9, it tells you that line L is parallel to line M. Okay? So this line right here is parallel to this line right here. When we have parallel lines, and you have other lines that cross them, you call those other lines transversals. And when you have transversals, there's some really cool little tricks about them that you can it will help you to figure out missing angles. So when you have two parallel lines and they are cut by a transversal, if you have angles that are opposite each other, they are equal. So if this angle is 49, on the alternate side of the same line, angle 4 is going to be 49. And we found that, and we didn't even have to do any kind of math. Now, if angle 4 is 49 degrees, you can find angle 5 by subtracting from 180, because this right here, this is a straight angle, so you can do 180 minus 49, which gives you 131. So angle 5 is 131. Now we have more than one transversal in this. We have another one right here. So if this angle is 73, then I know that this angle right here is going to be 73. And if this angle is 73, I can subtract from 180 to get angle 3, which is 107. So 180 minus 73 is 107. And then the last angle I need to find is angle 2. So remember, this is also a straight line. So I can subtract, I can do 180 minus 73 minus 49, and that will give me the measure of angle 2, which is 58 degrees. Number 10, you have a rectangle, and inside that rectangle is divided into triangles. So we'll start with the bottom right here, because I know this is a 90-degree angle, which means it's 90, and I can subtract this angle from it in order to get angle 6. So 90 minus 52 is 38. If this is 38 and this is 86, I can subtract from 180 to give me angle 5, and angle 5 is going to be 56 degrees. Now I can subtract 56 from 90, because this is a right angle, to give me angle 1, which is 34 degrees. And now you have to remember that this line is going to be parallel to this line. So you've got that alternate interior thing going on again. So if this angle is 52 degrees, this angle has to be 52 degrees. Because this is on this side of the line or the transversal, and this is on the other side. So angle 2 is 52 degrees. Now you can subtract angle 1 and angle 2 from 180 to give you angle 4, which is 94. And if this angle is 52, I can subtract it from 90 in order to give me angle 3, which is 38 degrees. I could have also done 180 minus 52 and 90 to get 38 degrees. and then worked backwards from there. So if you don't remember alternate interior angles are congruent, you can work another way to also get the answers. These questions have a lot of different ways in order to get answers, so just try to figure out the way that works best for you. The way that I may work it may not necessarily be the way that you work it. Alright, so let's look at number 11. I'm going to make the screen a little bigger so we can see it easier. Okay, so this angle right here, this is a 7. So that is 47 degrees. And so we got to remember, there's a lot of missing parts in this. But you got to remember that these two lines right here, because they have this arrow in them, that means they are parallel. So this line right here is a transversal. And this line right here is also a transversal. We'll need that in a little bit to help us out. But first of all, we can say, we see vertical angles, right? So this is 71, which means angle 2 is going to be 71 degrees. And now I know that this is 47 and this is 71, so I can subtract those from 180, which means angle 1 is going to be 62 degrees. Also, because this is a straight line, I can subtract angle 2 from 180 to give me angle 5, and so that would be 109. And if angle 5 is 109, angle 3 is 109 because they are vertical angles. Now I can use the 180 rule to figure out that the missing angle 6 is 180 minus 42 minus 109, which would make this 29. Now the next things that we need to figure out are 7 and 8. And so I'm going to use the alternate interior rule, where this transversal cuts these two parallel lines, which means angle 1 is going to be equal to angle 8 because they're on opposite sides of the line. And so that means that because this is 62 degrees, angle 8 would also be 62 degrees. And then I could do the same thing on this side. If this angle is 47 degrees, the one on the opposite side of the line at the bottom is also going to be 47. So angle 7 is 47 degrees. And then last but not least, angle 4, subtract 180 minus 36 and 109, and you get 35. So this is probably one of the most complicated problems that you'll see. Most of them will be just a little easier than this, but I wanted to show you a hard problem so that you're prepared for it. So now we're going to get back into a little bit more algebra, because we will combine algebra and geometry. And so this is a triangle, and how many degrees is a triangle? 180. Okay, so that means I can take this angle plus this angle plus this angle and add them up, and it'll give me 180. So I'm going to add 11x minus 21 plus 9x plus 3 plus 5x minus 2, and I'm going to set them equal to 180. So first thing I need to do is combine like terms, because I have x's and numbers, and I have a whole bunch of them, and it's easier if I put everything together instead of leaving it all separated out. So I'm going to put boxes around my x's, don't forget the signs, and I'm going to put circles around my numbers, and then I'm going to combine my like terms. So 11x plus 9x is 20x plus 5x is 25x. Negative 21 plus 3 minus 2 is negative 20 equals 180. Then we're going to solve it just like a two-step equation. So we're going to add 20 to both sides. And you get 25x. This cancels, equals 200. And then last step is to divide by the number in front of the x. And you get x is equal to 8. Now we're not done. Just like on your homework, you had to put the x back in order to find the angle measure. So I have 9x plus 3, so that's 9 times 8 plus 3. And then I have 5 times 8 minus 2, and 11 times 8 minus 21. So I used my x equals 8, and I replaced every single x with an 8. And now I'm going to work those out. And when I do that, angle D is 38 degrees. Angle E is 75 degrees. And angle F is 67 degrees. I'm going to get you to work number 13 on your own. If you finish it in class, then you won't have any homework. If you don't finish it in class, then you need to finish it for homework that I check on Monday. I'm going to work number 14, and then you're going to do 15 on your own. So 14 talks about your exterior angle theorem, where this angle right here is equal to the sum of this angle plus this angle. So I'm going to add 13x minus 11 plus 4x plus 1, and I'm going to set that equal to that exterior angle, which is 18x minus 15. Now I've got to combine my like terms, so draw the wall. I'm going to combine 13x plus 4x, which is 17x. And I'm going to combine negative 11, positive 1, which is negative 10. And that's going to equal 18x minus 15. Now I have an equation that has variables on both sides. I've got an x over here and an x over here. So I'm going to find my smallest x and do the opposite. So the opposite of positive 17 is negative 17, and whatever you do on one side, you do on the other. So this cancels. You have negative 10 equals 1x minus 15. Add 15 to both sides, and you get 5 equals x. So x equals 5. And then we're going to take the x equals 5, and we're going to put 5 in for every x. So that's 18 times 5 minus 15. 13 times 5 minus 11. And 4 times 5 plus 1. So I'm going to let you figure those 3 missing angles out by doing the math. And then do number 15, and that'll be it for today.